We're going to be speaking on Tory Lanez getting stabbed inside a prison and the man who did it.
What's the word with it, man? It's your boy Montana, man. Welcome back to another reaction video. But before we get into this reaction video, man, I be getting questions. I get questions like, Montana, why you do YouTube if you don't be getting no views? First of all, I just started off doing YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I just started off doing YouTube, but I do it because I enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? I always used to sit on my couch, turn on my TV, and turn on YouTube and watch videos. And I always used to react to them without a mic and a camera. So I told myself, I said, all this equipment I got, why not make my own reaction channel and put it on YouTube? Why not make my own YouTube reaction channel? And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I could have came home, sat at my desk, sat at my setup, turned this video on without a mic or camera and just been nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to create me a reaction channel. So this is my reaction channel. I know don't nothing happen overnight. You know, it's all about being consistent and consistency. You know what I'm saying? This is hard work and dedication. You know, editing, you know, making 3 videos a day, things like that, you know. So all the other stuff will come, you know. Long as you dedicated to what you're doing, all the other stuff gonna come. It don't have no choice but to come. You know what I'm saying? Even if people don't watch, I'm still gonna do it because I enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the answer people question. You feel me? That be, you know, that don't know nothing about YouTube, that don't have a YouTube channel or don't know how to use YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Everything will come. You learn, you grow. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this reaction video, man. Tory Lanez tacked in prison, man. I know y'all heard about that, but we got 1090 Jake, man, with more information on what's going on, man. So let's go ahead and check it out, man. Yeah.
Man, what's up, everybody? It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me.
Man, shout out 1090 Jake, man.
We're gonna be speaking on Tory Lanez getting stabbed inside a prison and the man who did it. May 12th, 2025. Located north of Los Angeles lies the California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi, California. In 2021, the prison closed its
locked up in Cali. I ain't know that.
Meaning its 2,600 inmates were level 3 or level 4. These are the most dangerous levels in California State Prison, where race, gangs, and strict politics are enforced with deadly consequence. The only step above this would be the maximum security inmates housed within the security housing unit, otherwise known as the SHU. A disciplinary confinement reserved for the prison's most violent, whose only escape from a cell is a human dog cage. It was 7:20 in the morning when 32-year-old Daystar Peterson, who's more commonly known as the rapper Tory Lanez, was violently attacked.
7 in the morning?
TMZ would originally report multiple sources, including a correct.
I ain't gonna lie, 7 in the morning is crazy work. Ain't that when you get your breakfast? Ain't that when you get your first plate? Ain't that when you get your first tray? Did he eat? Did he eat before he got stabbed? That's crazy work. Niggas can't even get their plate first. Niggas can't even get their tray first. Not a plate. Niggas ain't getting plates in jail. Niggas can't even get a tray first.
Corrections
Crazy
officer
work.
claimed Tory was on the prison yard, but an updated report from a representative of the California Department of Corrections would clarify Tory was attacked within a housing unit.
Also, he
Prison
was
staff
inside.
rushed into the unit administering first
inside,
aid,
not
while
outside.
quickly determining Tory suffered life-threatening injuries, forcing them to call 911. Video would emerge of who's believed to be Tory Lanez landing in a life flight helicopter at Kern Medical Center in Bakersfield, California, an hour-long drive from the prison. With that distance, a helicopter was the only form of transportation able to move him fast enough to save his life. A message to Tory Lanez's Instagram account would state he'd been stabbed 14 times.
Damn.
7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso,
Damn.
2 to the back of his head, and 1 to the left side of his face. Both of his lungs collapsed, and he had to be placed on a breathing apparatus. Luckily, Tory was breathing on his own, and despite the pain was talking normally, in good spirits, and deeply thankful to God that he is pulling through. He also wanted to thank everyone for their continued prayers and support.
14 times is crazy work.
It can
Do
be
your homework
assumed
on
Tory
getting
was
stabbed
attacked
14
from
times
behind,
and survived.
as the majority of his wounds struck his back
press the
and
issue
behind
on
his
that.
head. Initially, no word was released as to who did it, leaving room for speculation. Because this took place in California, the only time someone is stabbed and it doesn't result in a race riot is if they are stabbed by their own race. But that isn't the case here. Compton rapper Spider Loc would post a conversation with a current inmate at Tehachapi. The man would claim Tory was on a tier full of Mexicans when a Mexican stabbed Tory. He'd confirmed Tory had to be airlifted from the prison and the prison was placed on lockdown. He'd also confirmed as soon as the lockdown is lifted, the blacks will be seeking revenge on the Mexicans.
Oh yeah, they trying to ride.
What's Gucci?
They trying to ride.
What they do, Fight?
Shit, nothing much to look, right? This morning, brother, the Mex came out and bust on the boy Tory. You know, they airlifted him and all that, so you know, that's gonna respond when we come off this shit. We're gonna respond the right way to that.
They laid the yard down.
No, it happened in the building.
What was it over? It was over some. What he had did he have a debt, a gambling debt or something?
Nah, nothing like that. Shit, we don't even really know. We don't even know the whole situation, you know.
So it was just like some foul play. So it's finna be up.
Tory Lanez got millions of dollars. It couldn't been no way it was over a gambling debt. You know what I'm saying? He got too much money to be in debt. You feel me? Like,
yeah, it's for sure with some foul play.
Damn, cuz. Wasn't nobody right there with him when it happened? Wasn't nobody right there with him when it went down?
Yeah, I guess nobody wasn't. He was by himself out there. He got a whole tier full of necks. He on a whole tier full of necks.
Wow.
You already know, once we get on this shit, we press play on, we press play.
I'm already knowing. God damn.
Tehachapi has a known reputation for being SNY, otherwise known as a special needs yard. These yards are known to house gang dropouts, snitches, sex offenders, and anyone else whose life is threatened by being in general population. But California has also recently implemented 50-50 yards, half general population, half SNY, to integrate the two prison societies. This goes against strict prison gang politics, mainly for the Mexicans and whites who are allegedly forced to attack any rival or SNY inmate to essentially remove themselves from the yard until they are placed back in general population amongst the quote-unquote honorable convicts. While general population is deadly, it's controlled chaos, and SNY yards can be just as dangerous, if not worse, as the gang politics that keep things in line go out the window and violence becomes rampant. It's unclear if Tory was in fact SNY, as that comes with its own bad reputation within prison, but it's likely Tory was placed on a 50-50 yard and his politics didn't require him to remove himself. Now, Tory's attacker would be identified as 42-year-old Santino Casio, a man with a dark violent history. On June 8, 2022, a then 20-year-old Santino, who went by the name Sonny, was heard arguing with his 13-year-old girlfriend. Minutes later, she was shot in.
hold on, we heard the shot part, but 13-year-old girlfriend, 13? 13? 13 what? 13 years older than him? Nah, she was 13 years old. What the fuck you doing with a woman that, I mean, not a woman, because she's not a woman. What the fuck you doing with a young girl, a young lady that's 13 years old, and you a grown-ass man? Hold on, hold on.
In the face with a shotgun.
And he shot her in the face with a shotgun? What? The boyfriend of a 13-year-old girl who was found shot to death. What? And he killed her. Early Sunday in an apartment the two shared in Lancaster is being sought for her slaying, authorities said Thursday. And he 20? A 20-year-old parolee allegedly shot Evelyn Brenda. Is he and he 20? Man, he look 50. He look 42 and a half. 20? Ah, nah. Hold Hold on. It still don't matter though. You look grown as hell. And then you 20 years old, she's 13. What are you doing with a 13 little girl? And then you shot and killed her. That's crazy work.
Santino would go on the run for 2 weeks before being arrested.
Man,
his own family would testify against him in court, how they heard the argument before the blast.
Oh God, they better.
A coroner would testify the barrel must have been 4 inches away from the girl's face.
Damn!
An interview from the day he was arrested would be played at trial where Santino admitted to having a relationship with the 13-year-old girl for a month before the shooting.
And only was with her for a month.
Oh, Santino was on parole from the California Youth Authority for burglary. In 2004, Santino would be sentenced to life in prison for murdering 13-year-old Evelyn Candejas and 2 other attempted murders from 2 separate stabbings. While in prison, he was sentenced to an additional 6 years for a prison stabbing on another inmate, and in 2018, he was sentenced to an additional 2 years for possessing a knife in prison. Santino Casio was as dangerous as they come, but his conviction for murdering a 13-year-old girl he'd been dating confirms he was definitely an SNY inmate, as he'd never be allowed to walk in general population without being stabbed or killed.
He ain't had nothing to lose.
Why he chose to attack Tory Lanez is unknown. Many question if Tory was targeted because of his own conviction for allegedly shooting his former friend Meg Thee Stallion. The fact that he had a female victim, many would assume would be reason enough for him to be hit. But Santino's case is far worse than Tory's could ever be portrayed, and offers no motive as to why this happened. Tory Lanez is expected to survive, and it can also be expected that Santino be placed in the shoe and receive additional time in prison for this attack. But what is more time to someone who's already serving a lifetime?
None.
A superstar rapper once on top of the world, now surrounded by killers with nothing to lose because of a stupid decision that changed the entire course of his life. Tory is lucky to have survived this, and hopefully remains lucky enough to survive the remaining years of his 10-year prison sentence. Now, when Tory was sentenced to prison, everybody assumed one of 2 things. One is his money and celebrity status is going to keep him safe. And 2, because he has a female victim, he could be targeted. I don't know if either one played a role in this, but the fact that Tory was damn near killed, right? Because prisons don't call in a helicopter for nothing. They all have medical units within the prison. Like, if it's superficial, they'll fix you. The fact that he had to be airlifted, his lungs collapsed, Tory almost got killed. This was a serious stabbing. Anytime a helicopter lands, it's serious. The fact that he survived this, and the fact that he was hit up in the first place, shows you how real prison is.
Yeah.
Your celebrity status is not going to protect you. If you're accessible, it can happen to you. The fact that Tory was on an SNY yacht, from my understanding, doesn't mean he necessarily went PC for protective custody.
He should have.
From my understanding, the black race in California State Prison doesn't have to remove themselves from SNY yards because their politics don't do that. The whites and the Mexicans will not stay on a 50-50 yard. It's required that they remove themselves. The reason they do that is so they don't run into pieces of shit like Santino Casio, a man that murdered a 13-year-old girl that he was dating, right? General population, they don't want him there. So if he goes there, they remove him. But if they get placed into a dorm or a unit where they're surrounded by weird fucks like that guy, they gotta pop on somebody to remove themselves. Reality is, if Tory was never at that spot around that guy, this would have never happened. And that's the thing about general population. Even though it's so strict, it's controlled chaos. That's why when Spider Loc was questioning his boy inside of the prison, he was asking, was it a gambling debt or something? Did Tory do something? What would cause someone of another race to attack him? Because under controlled politics, that doesn't happen like that. But in this situation, with SNY inmates, there's no rules and everything is off limits. resulting in Tory Lanez damn near being killed. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comments section. Again, Tory is like 5'1", and from what I understand, he's been moving around like a regular inmate. His celebrity status doesn't hold that much weight to people that don't really give a fuck. You know, you got a lot of people in there that's never coming home. They don't care about the celebrity shit because they don't ever get the chance to experience it.
Right.
This is
right,
prison.
right.
This is the reality of prison. And this could be your reality if you make a decision that lands you there. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Until next time.
Man, I heard Tory Lanez was in that motherfucking running shit though too. I heard he was in that motherfucking running shit because he this, you know, he this big person that's in prison right now. I'm talking about feeding everybody, you know, doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they probably was hating on that boy Tory. I ain't gonna fake it. But back to the dude though that stabbed him. Dating a 13-year-old is crazy work. Do your homework on crazy work. Press the issue on that. And then you killed her, and you only been knowing her for a month. You only been dating her for a month. Then you killed her, shot her point blank in her face with a shotgun. Crazy work. Now you're in jail for the rest of your life. You ain't got nothing to lose. Somebody in there probably told you to stab him. Like, I don't think you just gonna stab nobody for no reason. You know, it gotta be a reason why you stabbing somebody in prison. You know, I don't know if it's over politics. I don't know if it's hating. I don't know if it's you into it with them. It gotta be a reason. It's some reason, and the truth will come out about this situation. That's crazy work. Do your homework on that. You know what I'm saying? But shit, let me know what y'all think about in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Hit that notification bell so y'all can know when I'm posting, man. It's your boy Montana. I'm out.